The Serious Fraud Office has charged 2 people over its investigation into the New Zealand First Foundation. But Winston Peters says his party is in the clear. The SFO investigation began back in February after a referral from the police. It followed revelations that the foundation received donations from some of the country's wealthiest people in business, fisheries and horse racing worlds. None of the donations were declared in the party's electoral returns, and the only disclosed source of money to New Zealand First since 2017 was a loan made by the foundation. The 2 people have been charged with obtaining by deception and have interim name suppression. New Zealand First leader Winston Peters says his party has been exonerated of any electoral law breaches.
Having fully investigated the allegations, the SFO has cleared the New Zealand First Party, all of its ministers, all sitting members of the New Zealand First Party, all candidates standing for election, and all party employees of any wrongdoing. It's a relief after months of this cloud hanging over the party that we have been fully cleared. Unlike the recent National Party donation scandal, no party member has been implicated or charged by the SFO. Whilst the SFO has confirmed that no New Zealand First Minister, parliamentarian or party member broke any electoral laws, the timing of its decision to lay charges against the foundation constitutes a James Comey-level error of judgment. It's an appalling intrusion in a period when the people begin to think seriously about the shape of the next government.
Well, depending on what shape the next government takes, Winston Peters' current job as Deputy Prime Minister may be up for grabs. Current polling puts New Zealand First on around 1%, well below the 5% needed to get them back into Parliament. That could see the Greens or ACT vying for the Deputy Prime Minister position, a scenario that neither Labour nor National are ruling out. Our Deputy Political Editor, Craig McCulloch, will join me in the studio shortly, but first, his report.
Oh, Winston!
How are you?
Good luck, I hope you win.
You never know who you'll bump into on the campaign trail. Today it was a former schoolmate Winston Peters encountered at Manukau Mall.
I left there in the fourth form with Darwin High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember you being there.
Yeah. Thanks.
What was Winston Peters like at high school?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
But Mr Peters' days of meeting and greeting may soon be approaching an end. The latest polls have New Zealand First well out of reach of Parliament, wallowing on just 1% last night.
I think what you've got to do is start stacking up the integrity of the polls that you're relying upon. And you can't.
But if the polls are right, come October 18, there could be a vacancy in the Deputy PM's office. And already there's talk of who might fill that seat.
That role, like all of the other ministerial positions, is something that we'll discuss after the election.
James Shaw could have a shot at the role. The TVNZ Colmar Brunton poll put the Greens in the Queenmaker position. Labour would need their help to govern. And that means Shaw, or Marama Davidson, would have the leverage to claim that number 2 job.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but we look at that portfolio like we look at any other ministerial portfolio on its merits.
These are just not negotiations that I would ever enter into before we've even had election day.
But note that Jacinda Ardern's not ruling it out. Instant fodder for her opponent, Judith Collins, who tweeted, "Imagine co-deputy PMs Marama Davidson and James Shaw."
Yeah, I think it's a pretty scary outlook for people.
But Ms Collins may have to negotiate that position too. National's path to government would require a jump in support, but also the help of ACT, which could mean Deputy Prime Minister David Seymour.
Never say never.
I'm not ruling it out. It's a negotiation still to be had. I'm not in that lucky position yet to do that.
This is not a comedy show.
Both ACT and the Greens say policy is far more important to them than ministerial positions.
It depends on the extent to which we think it can help us to advance the program of work that we have.
I personally turned down the baubles in order to get end-of-life choice done.
Labour, of course, would prefer not to negotiate at all. In that spot, if Labour could govern alone, Jacinda Ardern says the job would belong to Kelvin Davis.
He is our deputy leader of the Labour Party, so by virtue of that, that's how it operates.
A lot to play for, with less than 3 weeks till voting day. From Auckland for Checkpoint, Craig McCulloch.